Buffalo 27, Jacksonville 24 in a thrilling end-to-end game that could have gone either way. We're going to go through it, but before we do me a massive favor and hit the subscribe button at the bottom of your screen there. It will really help me out, especially if you're a returning viewer. It means you like what you're seeing, but you're not hitting subscribe. Just hit subscribe, help me promote this great game over here in the UK. And now let's get on with the video analysis. We knew it was going to be a tough game. I called this a low-scoring game because I thought it was the defenses that were going to be the most prominent factor in this match. And early on, the Jacksonville Jaguars defense gave the Bills a torrid time. Well, to be fair, I think they gave the Bills a torrid time throughout the game, but they were just super effective in those first two quarters. Cook and Allen could not get anything going in the run game, while Jacksonville's Tootin started really well, and Etienne was solid throughout the whole game. The only reason the Bills got on the scoreline first is because Lawrence threw a pick, but then they had a massive stop straight away. So off the back of that pick, Bills couldn't capitalize because the Jags defense early on was savage, and they just couldn't get anything going. So they had to take a field goal. Off the back of that, the Jags pretty much ran all the way through to the other end to get a touchdown straight away, making it 7-3 early on. And it looked like it was going to be a hard day for Josh Allen. And it was. He was getting banged up. He hurt his finger. He had a really weird knee kind of rotation thing. I sometimes look at Josh Allen and I think, how does he get back up? I think he had to go into the tent for a concussion at one point. The Jags defense are so physical. When I was watching the game halfway through, I really started hoping that they'd win. I didn't have any skin in the game. I didn't know, I didn't want one team to win or the other team to win. But halfway through the game, the defense was being so savage that I just really wanted to see them win the game. The Bills got it together. They started making plays. And I think what was significant is after the first quarter, I think they recognized that they couldn't hang around in the pocket too much. So Josh Allen started moving the ball very quickly. He started getting the ball and distributing it really fast. And that's when you started seeing the Bills offense do a really good job, get themselves back in the game. But it was to and fro, and I think it could have gone either way. There were a couple of decisions that were really decisive in the end. I think Jacksonville going to it on fourth down and not making it had to be reviewed. They initially gave it as a first down, but you could see from the review that Trevor Lawrence's knee was down as he was contacted. So he got touched as the knee was down, not a first down. The Bills took over, and then Cam Little missing a field goal. So there was only 3 points in at the end. That would have taken it to overtime. Who knows what could have happened. So it was that close. It was that close. Both quarterbacks were pretty similar in terms of their stats. Josh Allen threw for 273 yards, 277 yards for Trevor Lawrence. They ran for about the same, so 33 yards for Josh Allen, 31 yards for Trevor Lawrence. So there wasn't that much in it. I guess the small differences made a big difference in this game. So Jacksonville going for it on fourth down and not making it. Josh Allen right at the end going for it at fourth down and making it, nearly getting a touchdown himself off that particular play. But then on the very next play, getting a touchdown. And I'm so happy to see a team taking the points at that point. So often when teams are trying to run down the clock and they slow the play down by not getting the touchdown that play, waiting for the next down to go and get the touchdown. I think Jacksonville let them have the touchdown so they could have time on the clock, but I'm glad the Bills just took it. I've never understood. I mean, I do understand it. I do understand you have to eating the clock away means that they don't get the ball back. But my brain goes, well, what if you miss? What if you waste the down and then on the final down you don't get the touchdown? So I'm glad that when Jacksonville went, hey, just take the touchdown, we'll get the ball back and we'll try and score ourselves. The Buffalo Bills just went, yeah, straight through. We'll take that touchdown and we're gonna trust our defense. And they were right to trust their defense because it ended with the second pick of the match, which ended the game and Buffalo got the win. These small margins win these really tight games. It was quite hard to call this one while the game was going on. Early on, it just looked like the Bills had nothing. They were getting stifled across the board in the run game. Shakir started to make some plays later on, but also Cook did start managing to get some of his runs in. He did only run for 46 yards, so he wasn't that effective, not as effective as he has been all season. When you compare that to Etienne, who ran for 71, Tootin also ran for 51, so the Jacksonville seemed more effective on the ground. Etienne had a really good match. Tootin with a touchdown early on had a really good match. The lead receiver for the Bills was Shakir, 87 receiving yards. But Parker Washington had a really solid game. I think in a lot of ways you look at this game and think, so many players from Jacksonville had a really good match and they still ended up on the losing side. They were really unlucky. I feel a bit bad for them, really, but I think we've got one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I think they're in safe hands. I think they'll be back next season. A bit gutted for them today, but we're looking at a really good football team here on both sides of the ball, and they're going to be hard to beat next year, just like they were this year. But can the Buffalo Bills go on to win the Super Bowl? With a quarterback like Josh Allen, you've got every chance. He has got everything. He can pass, he can run. He is pretty much a one-man band when he needs to be at times. So they've got every chance. So they go up against the Denver Broncos next. And with that in mind, let's take a look at the rest of the games. So I watched the Rams-Panthers game yesterday. Like the November match, it was a bit of a shootout in the end. In the November match, it was the Panthers that end up with 30 points and winning by a score. This time it was the Rams, 34-31. Really good game. The Bears, what a comeback. What a comeback in that game. I only watched the highlights, so I might have to go back and watch the full match. 31-27. The 49ers, Kittle drops out early. And it looks like they're going to have a torrid time, but they beat the Philadelphia Eagles, so the Super Bowl champs, out. The 49ers in. I did call it. The Patriots beat the Chargers. I think after having such a rubbish set of predictions over the last few weeks, I think I got every single game prediction right this time. Maybe it's a bit easier in the playoffs. But yeah, a good prediction from yours truly this weekend. So that takes us to next week's game. So in the AFC, we've got the Bills who face the number 1 seed, the Broncos. And we've got the New England Patriots who face either the Texans or the Steelers, because at this point, the game hasn't happened. So apologies if you're watching this and the game's already happened and you know who they are playing, but at this point it's the Patriots against the Texans or the Steelers. And in the NFC, we have the LA Rams against the Chicago Bears and the 49ers against the Seahawks in the repeat of the game that they had 2 weeks ago that the Seahawks won. Can the Niners come back and get revenge on the Seahawks? I hope so. I'm rooting for Shanahan to get all the way to the Super Bowl and win it. So I'm backing the Niners to win, although I would like to see Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl as well. That's what I think, but what do I know? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and we'll see you next week.